Namo Namaste Gurave Mahatmane Vimukta Sangaya Saduttamaya Nityadvayananda Rasaswarupini Bhumne Sada Pardayam Budhamne Namaste Namaste Vibho Vishwamurte Namaste Namaste Chidanandamurte Namaste Namaste Tapoyogagamya Namaste Namaste Shruti Jnanagamya Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasadat Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmani Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Kasmai Chinmahase Namaha Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate. Hari Om Tat Sat. Little volume can be increased. Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Om Sahana Bhavatu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Sahaviryam Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Tejasvinavadhitamastu.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So 3 days we have already covered, and I think including today, the 3 more days, that is 2 more days are there. So I thought of, because some people suggested that it should be an Upanishad, but I did not want to do an Upanishad because I am already speaking an Upanishad in the global satsang. But I thought that I can speak on Sadhana Chatushtaya, which actually is extremely important for any Upanishadic studies. So I started with that and started the first of the fourfold sadhana is Viveka. So we are still continuing with the Viveka. About Viveka I have never spoken in so much of detail, that how the Viveka works during the meditative practice, how the Viveka works in the interactive practice. We have been speaking the same thing, but not in such focused and detailed. So there are generally the Sadhana Chatushtaya are Viveka, Vairagya, Sama-Dama, shatka, sampatti and Mumuksha. These are the 4. So we are still in the first. So you should not expect that we will cover all the 4. We can just summarily say something. And Viveka is not yet over. That is the main thing. The interesting point here is that in all these 4, they are not segregated. Just as I said the other day that Purushartha, 4-fold Purushartha. This is always in our scripture. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. They are not individually segregated practice. They are all integrated. So we call it 4-fold. Chaturvidha. 4-fold. They are actually the same, the 4 aspects of the same thing. So as I said that day, that when we are going to Artha, we are going to earn wealth for our livelihood. You cannot do it separated from Dharma. You have to learn Dharma very well, and applying Dharma we have to do it. Similarly, when we are going to fulfill our rightful desires, the desires which are not harmful for the world, for ourselves, for life, such rightful desires need be fulfilled. For that also, you have to do it being anchored in the Dharma. Then if we do that Dharma, Artha, Kama, then automatically comes the yearning for liberation. If we don't do the Artha and Kama based on Dharma, then the yearning for liberation will not come. That is what happened in the present world. Because people are flouting the Dharma in every part of life, so socially also, so in a mass scale also we are flouting Dharma. So naturally, yearning for liberation does not come. But if we fulfill, suppose earning the Artha depending on Dharma, then automatically we will find that the earning wealth will be so joyous, because you will not keep it accumulated for yourself. You will not develop possessiveness. These are all we learn from Dharma. That wealth should be utilized, best utilized for all. It is meant for, the purpose of the wealth is to acquire more of Dharma. That means, what is Dharma? Dharma is the universal law of sustenance. So our activities, our wealth should be contributed to the universal sustenance in all good work. And that will give us the real fulfillment of wealth, and that will make the wealth also stabilized in the, suppose a family, if we have accumulated lot of wealth and we just pass it over to the next generation, ignoring even the relatives also, that is what generally is done. By that the next generation is completely spoiled, because they will be wasting that wealth, and very soon all other corruptions will creep in. So these are extremely, because our civilization is thousands and unknown period, thousands and thousands years old. So they have seen, they have found, done research on how an individual can become fulfilled, how a society can sustain itself with fulfillment. And on that basis these are given. But people don't honor them. We have all become English oriented and we consider our country nothing. So we have lost all these things. Actually they are great truths. Maybe one day the whole world will follow them. Then only we will learn from the other people from the West or so. So the Dharma will tell us how to earn wealth and how to utilize the wealth also. And if we fulfill the Kama, the whatever desires we have, based on Dharma, then there is a great secret, a mystery. You will find that one can outlive the Kama. If we fulfill the desires following Dharma, then very soon we outlive. That we will no more be prey to the forces of desires. We will outlive the desires, material desires. Now when we outlive the desires, then what happens? Naturally, where lies the liberation that starts working in our mind? Because we are already fulfilled by whatever the world could give. Everything we get fulfilled by that. And we outlive all those cravings and all. And when we are fulfilled, then we think that well, everything I have got in life, but still I don't feel the fulfillment. I still have bondage. I want to become good or even more good. I want to have a freedom in my mind that I don't suffer from hurting others or doing something here, there, etc. Normally, our mind will be always suffering from the wrong things we do. Getting elated whenever something is favorable and immediately getting depressed when the favorable situation goes and unfavorable situations come in. So we are still doing all these things, also we remain under the forces of the world. We have not become master of the world, although we have outlived the usual desires. So desires in gross sense will go, but there are subtle hold of the desires. That is what we said, that ignorance has not gone. Ignorance has got its two forces. We have not known our real identity. We have been knowing the whole world, working in the world, but we never bothered about who am I, who is seeing the world, who is interacting with the world. Those questions start automatically haunting us. And so we want to get rid of all those bondages, whatever is lying. There comes the moksha. So dharma, artha, kama, moksha, it is a complete interrelated, but it's a complete prescription for a proper human life. How a human life should be led, it is all there. Now, in learning the dharma itself, after you have completed the Gurukula learning, say roughly at the age of 18 or so, there is something called Samavartana, that is convocation as we have it, when we pass out from the college or school. So from Gurukula also, that is welfare also. At that time, the students were given the option that learning the dharma, if somebody feels that no, I don't have much worldly desires and all, as I have learned the qualities from my guru, I would like to take the same line, that either I would like to become a teacher, guru like this, or I would like to take up sannyasa where I will pursue the moksha, the ultimate. That although it was extremely rare, but this option was open. That is, if a person is fit to go over to the fourth state, bypassing the artha and kama, that was allowed by our shastras, provided he is fit for that. So that decision will be taken at that point, and those who would like to have the artha and kama, they would go, they will earn, they will marry, they will have the proper garhastha life. But rare few will stay back. We used to call them generally they were called Naishthika Brahmachari. That normally a person studying is called Brahmacharya. They are called Naishthika Brahmachari. That means they have taken Brahmacharya as the nishtha of life, and that will continue till they would find that they are fit for it fully. That fitness will make them another step in the Brahmacharya life, and from Naishthika Brahmacharya they will take to sannyasa. That was the system. That is, before one takes up sannyasa, it is very much tested, and oneself will know also that I am fit to take up that life, so that there is no danger of after taking sannyasa something happens and he has to come back. That was generally very much condemned. In the Shastras it is condemned like that, like you have vomited something and you are again eating the vomited. This kind of a strong statement, many other statements also are there. Very strong statements used to be, because nobody should take it wrongly. That was the point. That only when you are fit you should take. Because you know that nowadays, seeing this dress also, people have so much of derogative idea, because they have seen maybe in this dress people are moving around with qualities which cannot be really approved or not. So if the cream of the society who are meant for education of the societies, if they misbehave, then the society will not have value for that. That was their concern. That is why they have used very, very strong words that after taking up sannyasa, you should not go the wrong way. Because once you have taken up this dress, you have to follow certain rule of conduct, code of conduct. So even if a person becomes, after this ashrama, this correspondingly there are the 4 ashramas: brahmacharya ashrama, garhastha ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama and sannyasa ashrama. These are the 4 ashramas. Now, even from the sannyasa ashrama also, when a person becomes a knower, then actually he is not bound by any ashrama. Once he becomes liberated, he is not bound by any ashrama. He becomes atyashrami. This word also you will find. Atyashrami or Paramahamsa they call. Now this atyashrami person also, if he puts on this dress, he has to follow the sannyasa code of conduct, at least to a general extent. Because people will not know who is a knower, who is not a knower. If you are having the insignia of linga, we say, of the sannyasa, then the sannyasa, although you are atyashrami, you should follow the sannyasa code of conduct. These are the general rules in our country. Now, this fitness is always a very important criterion in all the scriptures, in everything we do. So, fitness for brahmacharya, fitness for sannyasa, fitness for a grihastha also. If you are marrying somebody and becoming a grihastha, you should understand what are the responsibilities of a grihastha, because the whole society is pivoted on the grihastha life. We are fed by the grihasthas. Even a brahmachari is fed by the grihasthas. Those who are earning and the next generation and the whole vamsha parampara is coming from the grihasthas. So if the grihasthas misbehave, then whole society will get degenerated. See, these are very deep and extremely powerful thoughts enshrined in our scriptures, and very true also. But what can be done? Our people do not respect our own culture. Because the whole, it is by marrying and entering into, by giving rise to a progeny, there in the Shastras it is mentioned that you are playing the role of Brahma, the creator. Because you cannot say how long, how many thousands of years your generation will live on this earth. And if you are not able to make a pure quality progeny, then the whole society will get spoiled by that. So the importance of each stage of life, each function in life was emphasized. That is why so many rituals are there. Before pregnancy, during pregnancy, last age of pregnancy, after birth, everywhere you will find some rituals or some ceremonies are there to instill in the mind of the person who is going to deliver, so that the mind remains very good, the mind remains placid, so that the child born also will be proper. The pregnant mother should have enough of spiritual practices so that her mind remains absolutely cool and stable. Otherwise the child born will not be proper. And that is what we find so much of, what do we call it, that retarded or autism and all, not so many, even in foreign countries when we go. Many of the Indian devotees, they have 1, 2 autistic child and all, children. So all these you cannot just see with your senses, but as you become little deeper in your mind, in your analysis, these appear to be absolutely true, and it has to be followed if you want a long-term stable society. So this fitness criterion is very important, and in the Vedas, the first part of the Vedas, we call it Karma Kanda. That means it is speaking mainly about ceremonies and rituals, ritualistic practices, which will make people disciplined. The purpose of the whole rituals is to make us disciplined. Otherwise we will be given to all haywire practices and all. So by sometimes generating some fear or some compulsion, they will make us disciplined. After that comes the Jnana Kanda or Vedanta, the end part of the Vedas, which is consisting of the Upanishads. So in the beginning of the Upanishads itself, the question comes that it is the ultimate knowledge in life, the human life. This is the ultimate secret and the ultimate knowledge. Now, who are fit to enter into it? Because if the fitness is not there, then they will misunderstand and misuse that as an excuse. That is often happens also. Oh, everything is Brahman, so why should I do this? Why should we prostrate before the Guru? Guru is also Brahman, I am also Brahman, so who is Guru? There is no Guru. All these foolishness, they are practiced. In Jamshedpur, we had a person who used to give very good lectures on Vedanta. He was quite popular not popular, but he used to speak on Vedanta very well. But coming back home, he would drink and become drunk also. And it so happened that the small daughters, 3 daughters I believe, one day they came running to when Swamiji was there, we were also there. I think it was in Tiwariji's house we were staying, most probably, I don't remember now. They came running and said that they were absolutely dazed looking. What happened? Father came back and set fire to their house. He set fire outside and then started putting all the beddings and everything in the fire, and finally it became a big fire. So, in the name of Vedanta, this also, anything can happen. So, there was enough of discussion that is it that those who have practiced the rituals and those who have done the karma kandas, that is the Vedic ceremonies, they are fit to proceed to the next chapter, that is the Jnana Kanda. The reply is that yes, they are, provided they have got the result of following the disciplines. That is, the karma kanda ceremonies are organized in such a manner that if you follow exactly following the prescription of the Vedas, automatically you have to become liberal, you have to become free of various other habits. Many things will go, because it's quite hard, tough austerity they have to go through. Not only that, each big ceremony, Jaga, Jajna, used to end with a dana, where you have to give off everything you have. Suppose a king does an Ashwamedha Yajna, after that he has to give so much that he becomes a pauper. In Kalidasa, it is there that after the Ashwamedha Yaga is over, everything is gone, one sannyasi visits the Raghuvamsha king. So he is inviting the sannyasin with a mud pot carrying water and in a mud plate carrying some flower, because all the gold and silver from the palace had been given off to the people. Even such a yajna will need 1 year of preparation. Why? Because that preparation is so elaborate that all kinds of professionals will be employed there. The artisans, the theatre, drama, dancers, dancers, the singers, musicians, everybody will have some role to play over there. For 1 year it will continue making pandal, practicing this, making that. And yajna also used to continue for many, many weeks perhaps. So, priests, all of them, by employing them, what is happening? The king's coffer is getting distributed, the wealth is getting distributed. So, economic sense also is involved here. When the king's coffer used to get filled, the chief minister will come and suggest to the king that Maharaj, the money has got accumulated. You should do now this jaga or that jajna or whichever you want, and the money should get distributed amongst the people. And by performing the jajna, and the last was, the dana was given to the people who do not have any remuneration. Like teachers were not supposed to take any remuneration. In our country, jnana was never sold. That is why none of our program can be paid. We have lot of difficulty, particularly in USA. They said that nobody will come unless you charge. So that we will do like this. Let it take one generation. Let the people here learn that there can be the best thing can be given without any charge. It doesn't have a charge. How can you value it? So, knowledge was never charged. So the Gurukula used to learn only by the support of the rich people and mainly by the king. King would support a proper teacher. So they have to be given enough during this dana period. Similarly, priests who do the yaga, yajna, etc., they have to be given properly. Like that, it was all prescribed. So that the country remains stable, the economy remains stable, everything was involved in that. Now, suppose in this Kathopanishad, it's a beautiful Upanishad, we started with that because of this, the story, every step of the story has got some implication. It starts with Nachiketa's father who was doing Vishwajit Yaga, the one of the biggest yaga. So naturally it is to be understood that he was very much given to the Karma Kanda, and he was performing not a minor yajna but a very huge yaga, where everything was supposed to be given off to the people finally. But Nachiketa found that the father is giving all the wrong things, the cows which will never yield, the cows which have one horn, which had lost some of the sense organs, all the useless cows he was giving to the priest who did the yaga for him. So Nachiketa felt that my father is doing absolutely wrong. He will not go to the heaven, as the promise is that after doing this yaga, he will go to the best of the heaven or something like that. He will never go there, he will rather be taken to the hell. So somehow I must save my father. So he went and asked the father, because it was also prescribed that the best dana one can give is a good son. Having a good son, if you offer it to somebody, that is the highest dana one can give. So Nachiketa believed that he was a good son, and father knew it also. So he went to the father and said that, Father, to whom you are giving? You know the story, I am just repeating. The father listened to it but did not react, because he understood that the son has understood I am doing a wrong thing. That is true of everybody. When we do something wrong, deep inside it is always telling us that there is a shrinkage, there is a heaviness, where it is telling that it is not the right way, this is not the right way. So he did not reply twice, thrice, then finally he got very angry. He said that I give you to Yamaraja, that means I give you to death. Almost it is like cursing the son to death. So Nachiketa again was in trouble. He thought that whatever my father says, just like Rama, the father's word should become true. Otherwise my father will be proven as a liar. So I must go to death, to the Lord of Death. I must go to Yamaraja to prove my father to be true. It starts with this. Then the story goes as we have discussed many times. Now the important point here is that Nachiketa's father had done all the yaga, yajna, he was a karmakandi. Throughout his life he has done many things. But because his mind was still polluted with possessiveness, desire and all, he was not fit for the Upanishadic knowledge, the Jnana Kanda. He remained in the Karma Kanda. Whereas Nachiketa, who had not done any yaga yajna, but his mind was very liberal, free of all defects and all, so he was readily, the whole Upanishadic knowledge was readily accessible to him. So much so that at the end we find Yamaraja is saying that, Nachiketa, you know, you have everything. Let more and more students like you come to us. And he says that you simply walk in, Brahma Sadhana is wide open, you simply go ahead. Why I said this part is that this Sadhana Chatushtaya is nothing but the qualities which we start practicing. That Viveka, Vairagya, Sama-Dama, shatka, sampatti, Mumuksha. We start practicing these fourfold qualities. Now, as we practice more and more and more, actually what is happening is we are becoming knower. We are coming closer and closer to our identity is becoming closer and closer to the Atma. Because all these qualities are the expression of the knower. So actually, although we say these are the fitness criterion for taking to Upanishadic Vidya, actually this fitness criterion itself is flowering forth. And finally that you making you a knower also. So much is the importance of the Sadhana Chatushtaya. So in Kathopanishad they have shown clearly through the story that Nachiketa had all these 4 qualities in ample measure. It is not really 4 because one of them is a conglomeration of 6. Sama-Dama, aadi, shatka, sampatti. So 6 plus 3, 9. So all these Nachiketa had in ample measure, and so for him the jnana, the knowledge was not at all anything alien or difficult. Or it is only it means that the knowledge is nothing, that's ultimate knowledge, Vedantic knowledge or the knowledge of the truth is nothing but a cultivation of the qualities that a knower would have. So nobody can say that, oh, I have not seen the Atma, I did not have Atma Sakshatkara, how can I behave, how can I incorporate the Atmic qualities in our behavior? No, that's absolutely wrong. It is everywhere it is stated what are the qualities which will represent the Atma, so you have to practice those qualities. You go on practicing those qualities and you don't have to worry about whether I have become self-realized or not. That question doesn't come. It comes only in the very ignorant stage. Because as you proceed, the path itself becomes so fulfilling that you will never worry about that have I reached the goal or not. Whether there is a goal or not. Nothing will be bothering you. The path itself is so fulfilling provided you follow it sincerely. Your sincerity makes the path fulfilling. So it was clearly stated then that it is not the practice of the ceremonies or the karma kanda, but the qualities which the karma kanda is supposed to bring in our character. Those qualities qualify us to enter the Vedanta, Vedantic practice pursuit. So naturally, Nachiketa had not practiced any ritual or so. But he had the qualities, so he could easily go. Like that, as we now in this world, nobody is doing any ritualistic practices. But these qualities are open before us. Wherever we are active, whatever we are doing, whether it is business or other profession or anything, we can cultivate these qualities in ample measure. And our path also will become so much fulfilling in that case. Now this Viveka, generally in our Viveka Chudamani means the Chudamani means the crest jewel. The crest jewel of Viveka. So it has been given the highest position. Because unless Viveka is there, Vairagya will not come. Unless Viveka and Vairagya is there, the Sama-Dama shatka sampatti will not come. Unless, you can show that. Unless all these 3 are there in ample measure, the Mumuksha will not come. Real Mumuksha will not come. Mumuksha is not just to say that I don't want to get born again. That is not Mumuksha. So, they are again linked to each other. It's all there in the YouTube, you don't have to know it. So we have shown an arrow that is Viveka leads to Vairagya. Vairagya and Viveka both together lead to Sama-Dama shatka sampatti, and they all together lead us to Mumuksha. But it is not just one way arrow, actually it is both way, because as Viveka increases, Vairagya dawns. But as Vairagya comes, it sharpens the Viveka also. So it is a regenerative process. Like that, as Viveka increases, Vairagya also increases. As Vairagya goes up, Viveka becomes sharper. So all two together it goes to the peak level, and the others also follow in corresponding manner. Now Viveka is, as we have defined, generally it is called Nityanitya Vastu Viveka. That means that intelligence has to discriminate between Nitya and Anitya. Nitya means which is permanent, and Anitya means impermanent. Now, normally in our life, who is worried about what is Nitya and what is Anitya? Of course, about happiness, we all want to have permanent happiness. So, there Nitya is coming. But generally, for anybody, the Viveka will tell us in the first stage the distinction between Shreyas and Preyas. Now, Shreyas is defined as whatever takes us to the ultimate auspicious goal. And Preyas is which is immediately pleasant, but which will take us away from the ultimate auspicious goal. This is the definition of Shreyas and Preyas. So, in the beginning, as the other day I said that what is the thumb rule? Two paths are open before you. How will you select which path to go? Look within and find out whether it is giving expansion, strength, lightness within, or whether it is making us small, constricted, heavy, sinful within, the feeling of sinfulness. So it is clear, we can always look within and find out which is the path to auspicious goal and which is not. The one path may be giving us more money, more property, more prestige, more power, everything. But your mind says that if I join this job, I have to do compromise on my honesty or some similar thing. Whereas the other path is giving you less money, less position, power, but there is no such doubt. You will be free to work there without any compromise with your ethical sense or anything else. So if you are a seeker, naturally the solution will be you take to the path of Shreyas, not the path of Preyas. So Preyas will always attract us by giving us more of lucrative sense satisfaction and mental and fame and whatnot. But the other path, the Shreyas, we may not have all these things, but we feel very strong within. Sahaviryam karavavahi. Whatever we do, we will feel the strength is coming from within. I may be poor, but I don't worry about this. Not shortcut, it is a diversion, completely taking you away from the auspicious path. Away from the auspicious path, distraction. Shortcut means he will reach the ultimate goal. He will not reach the ultimate goal in this case. Shortcut to destruction, you can say, but this Shreyas should not take to destruction. So there are two different. The shloka in Kathopanishad clearly says that the nature comes to you with two baskets in every moment of life, not because the decision initially you may think that, oh, I have to decide which job I shall take. That's a major decision in life. But these decisions have to be taken in the mind every moment. Suppose you are blaming somebody. You like blaming, but you don't know that the blamefulness is only stressful. You are making your mind stressed. It is actually spoiling your health also, mental health, physical health, everything. So, there the judgment will say that no, this is not my path. rather I try to find out some good quality in her or in him and try to appreciate that. So every moment, see any sadhana, initially it is a external sadhana, you have to do this, you have to do that. Later on it is much subtler. In the mind you have to look, and every moment the mind, what is the direction it is taking, there you have to apply the correction. In the mind itself, in the thought process itself, in the bhava itself. So, initially Viveka means, Viveka Buddhi will allow you to select where lies prayas and where lies Shreyas and take to the Shreyas. Now, you may have a very sharp intelligence. The intelligence generally the scientists and other people have. With that you will be able to perhaps discriminate very well that this will take to the ultimate auspicious goal and this will be taking us away, or this is prayas and this is Shreyas. But after analyzing, if you take to prayas, then we won't call it Viveka. This is the highlight of our Shastras. Discrimination, English discrimination you can call that. He is very intelligent, very discriminating, he knows what is this, what is that. But a scientist, after knowing everything also, he may follow the path of, he generally follows the path of prayas, not the path of Shreyas. So we won't call it that he is very Vivekin. Viveka means the buddhi is anchored in the soul, it is able to detect, it is able to determine which is the path and also make the mind and the senses follow that path. Only when we follow, we will call it Viveka. So initially the Viveka is to tell us the Shreyas, the path of Shreyas, and keep us on the path of Shreyas. Later on, as we advance in our anusandhana, in our search for the ultimate truth, then it becomes the Shreyas is the nitya, that is the permanent goal we are looking for. And prayas means it is the anitya, all the worldly things, whatever we get. So it becomes nitya, anitya, vastu, viveka, it is called. Now we have to see that how Viveka gives rise to Vairagya. Suppose you are holding on to the property so much that you are doing many things out of your greed and your possessiveness. Now your Viveka will tell that this property is futile. If by holding on this property, are you feeling fulfilled? Are you getting joy? Or by giving whatever extra you have, giving to the deserving people, you get more joy. The joy is more in giving, not in collecting. Viveka will tell us. Now you have to follow that. Follow the Viveka and start distributing. That somehow forcefully, my mind is greedy, but I will not listen to my mind, I will somehow give. So somehow you once give. And you find that the people whom you are giving, the change in them, the happiness in them, and which gives you much more happiness. So once you practice this, whatever Viveka had directed, you practice it, then it becomes your knowledge that actually the tyaga is more fulfilling. Na prajaya dhanena, na karmana na prajaya dhanena, tyagena ike amritatvamana. I was teaching in the global satsang that the amritattva, immortality, cannot be attained by karma, by manpower, by power of wealth. It cannot be. Tyagena ike. Sometimes somebody has won that amritattva by tyaga, by sacrificing the possessiveness, removing the possessiveness. So, when we say the reduction of the possessiveness, reduction of holding on to things, clinging, that is the beginning of Vairagya. What is Vairagya? Vairagya means I don't want anything. The moment you say I don't want anything, and if it is true of you, then nothing will be able to affect you. You will have no expectation from anybody. I don't want anything from anybody, anytime, anywhere. Any situation you can go on adding. So if it is so, if it's a true Vairagya, then you will not be affected by anything at all. So you will automatically, the more you do it, you will find a sky-like dimension taking shape in your mind, within. Nobody else will be able to know. May not be. Somebody may also. But within you will always feel a sky-like. What is this sky-like? Because normally if you have a solid thing, then you find it very difficult to change its shape. It is rigid. If it is water, if you put in a vessel, it is taking the shape out. So it is a little more flexible. If you heat the camphor, it becomes evaporated. So it becomes more liberated than the camphor state. So it is spreading everywhere. It doesn't have so much of rigidity. Now the maximum flexibility is in the space. It doesn't get affected by anything happening in the air also. So initially it may be you will feel some airiness in your mind which is not affected by. Slowly it will result in a spatial feeling in the mind, a sky-like feeling in the mind, that you are not touched by anything at all. You are doing something. If something goes, that is also okay. Something comes, that is also okay. I am not afraid of anything. I am not expecting anything from anybody. I am doing whatever comes to be done. So, is not this Vairagya the state of the soul, the Atma? What is Atma doing? It is only revealing everything, not getting stuck to anything. That is why the whole infinitely variegated universe can appear on the Atma. That is when the criminals are appearing on the Atma, mark my word, when the criminals are appearing in the Atma is not having any hatred towards the criminal. It is not feeling, oh, a criminal aa gaya, ab kya hoga. When a saint is appearing in the Atma or any rich person is appearing in Atma is not happy by that also. It's just like the screen of the cinema. War is taking place, so many things, jhagda, so many love affair, so many things we are seeing in the film. The switch off the light, anything has happened to the screen? It only allowed the whole world to play on it. It is only the substratum which is allowing all kinds of activities to be played on it, but it does not get affected by anything. Like that is our soul, the consciousness. It allows all kinds of varieties to be manifest on it without getting affected by anything. And that is the meaning of Vairagya. Vairagya is not that you leave your house and just walk off and you have become a Vairagi. Walking off also you will have so many things to possess and so many, if somebody abuses you, you will not be able to take it. Once Swamiji was going to Assam or somewhere in the train, young, he was about 25 years old or so, and maybe 30 years. One person was talking to him, he was traveling in the next seat. He was traveling with him. He talked to him for quite some time. Then he came to the conclusion, I have understood. You are idle. You people are idle. You don't want to work and live on others' property. ठीक है? If that is it, will he shout back that नहीं हम लोग तुमसे भी ज़्यादा काम करते हैं, हम ये करते हैं, वो करते हैं, कौन बोल? That is their analysis, their idea. Doesn't matter at all. Like that, once we were invited in one place, and when we were taking food, the daughter-in-law in that house started saying so many things, complaining to Swamiji about me and Ma, this has been done, that has been done, and all kinds of complaints about us. Now, we could have easily left the food and gone away. In such a case, when the host is speaking like that, would you feel like taking food there? Because it has become poisoned by that. But suppose you leave food and go away, then it will be an amangala, very inauspicious for the host. And they will feel also sinful about it. Their parents are there, all will get quite affected by that. So we went on eating whatever little to be eaten, we went on eating, keeping quiet on that. उसमें क्या बोलना है, बोल रहे हैं उसको लग, उसमें कुछ भी सच नहीं था, क्या करें, उनके मन में लगा होगा, वो बना के कुछ भी हुआ होगा. And we are not able to specify also, because the whole story is not known to us, it is in their, manufactured in their mind. So Vairagya means you are a sky-like person there. Whatever happens, you take it. Many people will, Baba told Swamiji that when you go out, some will give you flower garland, and you have to face the garland as well as the gun, sword. And it happened also in the life, it happened. And many times we will see pictures of the movements when really swords are hanging before Swamiji's head. So many people. Kodungaluru movement pictures are like that. I think we have some given in the AGA, na? Great Association में कुछ pictures है. So Viveka will, as Viveka increases, it tells you that where lies possessiveness, where lies clinging to desires, and where lies the mukti from that, where lies the relief from that. So once Viveka gives rise to Vairagya, automatically the judgment of Viveka will become sharper, because earlier your attachment to certain things, your clinging to certain likable things, pleasant things, that was clouding your Viveka. Is it not? You will not be able to have a clear. Generally people do not have any judgment at all. When the sense attractions take over them, they don't know anything. They are ready to go to the jail or go to the gallows, any punishment also. They do all kinds of wrong things out of greed and all. That means that Viveka, there is no question of Viveka there. They are understanding what we are doing is wrong, but they are not able to stop. But in this case, what happens in small cases also, suppose you are taking food, a little more tasty, you can take it, but after taking the taste, because of the taste you are taking, and when it goes inside, you have seen that it doesn't suit my body and I have problem. So as you get out of the clinging to the taste, the Viveka will be sharper there. It will tell you that no, don't take. And you will be able to follow it also, don't take. When it has become Vairagya, you will not take it. So it is not about food, but everywhere it will work like that. Suppose you are enjoying the Shastras. Is there something to be enjoyed? So much of analysis, beautiful expressions, poetries, all these things are there, very enjoyable. And you go on enjoying. Your Viveka will go on telling you that this is Shastra Vasana. This is Shastra Vasana. That means Shabda Jalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karanam. This word, if you get trapped by this wordy everything and analysis, what we are doing every day, if you get trapped by that, that will take you away from the Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye. Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karanam Vaidushyam Vidusham Tadvad Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye. Like that, the scholarliness of a person, of a scholar, is also for bhoga, not for moksha. Because he gets joy out of that. I am a great scholar, I have defeated everything. Somebody said something, I could prove that that is not true. Earlier days it used to happen always. Once a sannyasin had come from Rishikesh here, young, very young sannyasin, like Aditya also. No, younger than him also. So we were talking in the evening, we generally ask, whenever some people like that come, we ask them that what is their life there, what do they do and all. Generally we were discussing. Then he started asking some questions. Then I was replying, he will ask another question. I was replying. Then 2-3 times it happened. The third time or fourth time when he asked, I said that, what are you doing? You are asking me questions. Is it not to hear the response from me? Whatever I am replying, before that you have your second question prepared and you are asking another question. By the time I have answered that, not completed the answer, you have again asked a third question. So what is the point in asking this question like that? Why are you asking this question? I not very mildly spoken in a strong manner, maybe. So he immediately came, he said, no Maharaj, माफ़ कीजिए, हमारा ऐसा स्वभाव हो गया है. Because this has become our habit, because in our place we are given this debate. All the brahmacharis and sannyasins, they have to practice debate on this, as Shankaracharya and Mandana Mishra did. Lot of debate. So we have got used to debating. We never think what the answer is. We don't think about it. But then he became very quiet. So, normally this Vairagya will give rise to Viveka will give rise to Vairagya. Now other things I will go tomorrow, because I want to answer some of the questions also. That is Sama-Dama, shatka, sampatti, Mumuksha. If possible, I will do it tomorrow. Today let us go more into the when we look into it, let me talk about a little physics. This Viveka, what is it finally doing? Our intelligence we are applying to make ourselves centered, is it not? Normally the world is always taking us away from the center, pulling us by both attraction and repulsion. Something we like, something we dislike, both are scattering our mind, taking our mind away from the center. So Viveka, what is it doing? Whenever we are distracted by the external situation, we are applying our intelligence, remaining anchored in our inmost identity. So it is actually pulling us back to our center, is it not? The purpose is to pull us back and get us anchored in the center. So in physics generally we call it centripetal force. Centripetal means one which pushes us to the center, whereas the world is generating centrifugal force, which is taking us away from the center. So these will always work against each other. Now, as by practicing Viveka, we are enhancing the centripetal force. Our purpose in life is to always remain anchored in our soul, anchored in our inmost identity. That is the purpose. For that, we are applying Viveka to always get centered. But if the pull of the world is so much that the centrifugal forces are always pulling us out, then another thing will help us get anchored in the center, that is relaxing the pulls. Is it not so? The way the external things are pulling us away, if we can reduce those wayward pulls, those centrifugal forces, then it will also help us get anchored. Is there any problem in understanding? So Vairagya is actually reducing the centrifugal force, making us loosely connected to everything. Something is pulling us out, ठीक है, देखते हैं क्या होगा. That is our real identity, soul, which we are always saying. I. They have to focus the I. I is the center. That I becomes the circumference also. There is nothing other than I. So initially when we are practicing, it is the center. Later on everything is in that I. There is no center, no circumference, nothing. It's zero. Zero or infinity, both are same. So this enhancing the centripetal force, the Viveka, and reducing the centrifugal force by practicing Vairagya, this is our sadhana. So wherever the pull is, outward pull is so much, we have to analyze in terms of the futility of this world, the fleetingness of the world. Why are we getting disturbed so much? Nothing can affect our central core. if great calamities have taken place, ठीक है, उसमें क्या है? That is what I am saying. Suppose something has happened, our mind goes out that I have lost my job, I have lost my family, all those things are happening, no? Because it is pulling us away. At that time we have to think that we cannot hold on to job or anything. They are all futile, they are all fleeting. So one day even when we retire also, we are not able to bear the retirement. Particularly losing the chair, those who are in a big position, वो चेयर को तो जो सम्मान उनको मिल रहा था वो तो चेयर का ही सम्मान था ना, हम लोग नहीं सोचते हैं कि हमें मिल रहा था, तो फट से वहाँ से चला गया तो क्या होगा, कुछ नहीं मिल रहा. They are not able to. They should analyze with Viveka. They should find out that what am I holding on to. If I take another job today, again I will be pushed off after 2 years or 5 years or 6 years or 10 years at least. What will I do then? So let me find out the stable ground now itself, not after re-employment, right after, at least after the retirement, let me find out. So this is all developing the Vairagya by Viveka. We are applying the Viveka, analyzing the situation and saying that nothing is going to be fulfilling me. So that generates the Vairagya in us. Now we have to understand the situation that this is what the world is. We cannot hold on to anything. If you hold on to some people, either he will die or I will die. If you hold on to building, either it will fall or I will be pushed off. All these things can happen everywhere. So understanding the world as it is and understanding ourselves as we are, that itself can generate enough of Vairagya, when the understanding is true. We are holding on to nothing actually. Anyway, we will come to this again. We will come to this again tomorrow. Some question answer. In the no awareness deep sleep state, there comes the dream state, but in waking, none seems to be there. That means nothing like dream state is there. That is what you mean, no? Where and due to what did the dream objects come to be? Now I would like you to think more about what is happening in the waking state and what is happening in the dream state. That will cover up some other questions also. See, in the waking state also, what we are seeing as the external world, we will not see unless it appears in our mind or in our consciousness, is it not? Until, suppose here there are so many air molecules, we don't see them because it is not appearing in us. Whatever is appearing in the mind, that only we are experiencing. Now, in dream, what is coming? That external senses are shut off. You have nothing. So whatever is appearing in the dream state, the mind is still operating. The body is not operating. So whatever is appearing in the mind, it is as good as the reality of the waking state at that point. Is it not so? Because there you will feel the touch, you will know the smell, you will know the sight, everything will be there, and there is no external thing to say that it is inside and it is outside. That senses are not there. So the dream objects, they have the full reality during dream, although they have appeared nowhere. In the dream, you cannot apply the causality which is applicable to the external world. Suddenly you see a palace. You did not have to employ a contractor or mason or to get the palace done even in 1 second also. It's there. You see a spacecraft which you have never seen in your life. It is coming and taking you to Chandrayana or bombing you also. Anything can happen. It just happens. Now, parallel to this, you think of the wakeful state. In wakeful state, certain things are external. Because what our eyes are seeing, they are finding them to be external. And certain things are internal. Now, when you are wakeful, but you close your eyes and then think of your mother. You are thinking of your mother. Is not in vision also mother is appearing there? If you are not interacting with the outside. So whatever we see, because the external signal and the internal signal, they contradict, we are accepting the external signal. The internal signal, I know that it is the thought. But they are equally true. Even in the wakeful state also they are appearing. And only then we are knowing. Because you are seeing here Indira is sitting, but in the mind I am thinking of Indira's house. Here you are sitting in Vijnana Bhavan. The two are contradictory. But maybe seeing you, I felt that once I had gone to your house and you are sitting there, that thought is coming to my mind. Now you close your eyes, that thought will become the reality in the mind. It will come with your own house where the situation took place. I have never visited, but I am saying it. So in the wakeful state also, we call it generally, whatever is the external world, we call it Bahyakasha. Bahya means external. Akasha means space. That is, we have something called Bahyakasha, means the external space. And in wakeful state itself, something is there in our, I am thinking, I am sitting here, but I am thinking of my college days or something like that. So, in the internal Akasha, that is happening. So, we call it Chittakasha. Bahyakasha and Chittakasha. One with respect to the body external, another with respect to the body it is internal. The two spaces. Now, what about your body with respect to which you are differentiating the Bahyakasha and the Chittakasha? This body, are you not knowing with your senses, with your mind? Is it not part of the nature which is the Bahyakasha? So body is a minuscule part of the universe. So what we are saying Bahyakasha, including the body, is actually the Chittakasha, is it not? In the Chittakasha itself, there is something called internal, something called external with respect to the body which is appearing in the Chittakasha. Difficult. Can you show the Krishna? Is it there with us? Oh, there are many other questions. See, there is a story here that one day Krishna was playing, his calves came, you can see the calves, their expressions and all. They reported to Krishna that we have heard about one Swami Bhumananda Tirtha. He is explaining spirituality very well, very clear. Why don't you take us to him? We would like to see him. So Krishna said that, well, I can go there, but I cannot take you. How can I take you there? But I can, when I wish, I will reach there. I can go there. So Krishna appeared here in front of the ashram. Here a little technical deficiency is that we could not turn the Krishna towards the ashram because we don't have such techies here. So I think it was done by Sally most probably. She tried a lot. This Krishna and calves are taken from here and there, most probably from ISKCON book or so. And she could not turn the Krishna towards the ashram. So we accepted that it's okay. Then He goes near the ashram building and sees that Swamiji is standing there. You see that balcony, Swamiji and Ma both are standing there. So generally the saint's effect will be there, not always through speaking. In presence itself we will have the effect. So when Krishna came to Swamiji's presence, the reality starts striking his mind. What is the reality? Oh, I am standing here and seeing the Swamiji. But unless this building of the ashram and Swamiji Ma all appear in my mind, I will not know them. So what I am really seeing is what appearing in my mind. So, see his eyes, he has discovered something. So this is the first step, that whatever is appearing in my mind, I am seeing that. So what I am seeing is actually in the mind. So by showing the cloud periphery, we are meaning that. Now the next step also unfolded before him, that it's not just that I am standing and in my mind the ashram is coming as a picture. That Krishna is standing here with the body in this place, that itself is coming in my mind. The whole thing is the mind. See? That Krishna is standing in the ashram and the ashram building, everything is appearing in my mind. The whole thing is in the mind. It is in the Chittakasha. Everything is in Chittakasha. If it is so, further step comes to his mind, that if it is so, the whole universe as we are seeing, the astronomical objects, the galaxies, the earth, or anything we are seeing, the whole thing is appearing in our mind, in which our body-mind personality is also a small speck, that is also in our mind only. So the whole picture is just an appearance in our mind or consciousness, in a consciousness. See? This is what. Then what can we say? Can we say that the whole universe is only a state of the consciousness? Not even a state, as an appearance in the consciousness. It is state we may say, but people may not understand. It should be appearance in the consciousness perhaps. I don't know why I put it state at that time. I have to think well sometimes. We miss also. No, first let us understand. We will come to that. So, what is the final anything else is that up to this, no? So, the whole world which appears to be Bahyakasha, that external space, and the internal space which we call Chittakasha, first we telescope the Bahyakasha into Chittakasha, is it not? The external is internal only. In internal there are two differences. One is within the body, another is external to the body. The body itself is in Chittakasha. The whole thing has become like that. So there is something called the third thing, that is Bahyakasha, Chittakasha, then Chidakasha. This Chidakasha is the Atma, Brahman, consciousness, what we are saying. The conscious space. It is not limited by the body. It is not within the body. The body is within that Chidakasha. This is called Chit or Chidakasha. Both mean the same. When we understand the spatial dimension, we call it Chidakasha, in which the everything is appearing. And when we just talk about the what is that consciousness, we call it Chit. The two are same, there is no difference at all. So this is the Chit, what we want to know. In Samadhi also, when we know the Chit, there is no body, no world, nothing. The Chit alone becomes revealed. The Chit reveals itself. Actually, in other cases, the Chit reveals everything. Everything is revealed by the Chit. Now our problem is, because in the world always we are, today I am talking a little philosophy, it doesn't matter, tomorrow again I will come down. In the world we are always finding causality to work, is it not? If we burn the clock, some melted material will come. If we burn the book, some ash will be resulting. The book is the cause, ash is the result. If I push the table, it will move. If I push it from that side, it will move this. Everything from birth onward, we are finding things are tied by causality. Now, this fact that we are finding from birth, even a baby knows that if the apple is given, if he extends his hand, he will be able to take it to the mouth. Or if he cries, the mother will give him milk. All these things are causally related. So by our very birth in this world, we come to understand this is brewed inside this causal chain. Now that makes us ask always that what has resulted? That causal question, that where from the dream has come, as you have asked. It's a causal question. The dream has to come from somewhere. So if you extend this causal chain, we have to understand the fallacy of this causal chain. Why? Suppose you ask what is the cause of A. You get B. Then naturally you have got B by the causal chain, so you will ask what has caused B. If the book is there, how did the book come? There was paper and all, from which the bit. If paper was, where from did the paper come? It's from the mold or so. Where from the mold came? It's from the bamboo, this and all the garbage was created. Like this, it will, where from the bamboo come? Somebody had spread some seed or it grew in that. Like that, it is all related by causal chain. Now, if B you have got, then naturally you will ask what is the cause of B? You come to C. What is the cause of C? You come to D. Now, you have to investigate in this causal logic itself, that it is not a solid logic, it is a fictitious logic, it has a flaw. What is that? Any amount you go, suppose you have reached Z, naturally the question will be that where from did Z come? You go to further, this will never end. If God has created this world, it is a creation which God has made, then where from did God come? You cannot stop it. It will always be there. So this logic, the flaw is that it never ends. You cannot go to the ultimate cause of anything. So it is called No. Anavastha dosha is Sanskrit, but in English it is called infinite regression. Infinite, in English logic itself, it is called infinite regression, that you cannot see the end of the causal logic. Because whatever you come at the end, you will ask where from it has come. So naturally, if there is any absolute truth or so, it has to be by this logic itself, it has to be beyond this logic, transcend this logic. Because this logic is a dual logic where you will never come to an end. So if there is anything, any truth, absolute truth or so, by its very definition it has to be beyond this causality chain. So it says that if you have to reach the absolute truth, you have to go beyond this causal chain, which is connected to duality. Cause and effect means it is duality. Subject-object means it is duality. In absence of the object, there cannot be any subject. In the absence of the subject, there cannot be any object. All the duality, even time. You cannot say when did time begin. Can you say? If you say when did time begin, then that point all the time was there. How can you say the time began there by notifying it that time began a million years ago? Because time was there, that is why you were saying. So time is actually not a linear truth. It is a cyclical truth. It is in the cycle of causality, time, space, matter, everything in a dual ken it is happening. It's a cyclic truth. If you want to go reach the absolute truth, you have to transcend this. Even logic tells us it is so. So, what happens is that suppose you find the Atma to be the cause of the universe. I am speaking in the wrong manner deliberately. Suppose you find Atma to be the cause of the universe. Then will you not ask again what is the cause of the Atma? So by that term, by the very fact that Atma is not out of any cause, it is causeless, it cannot cause also anything. You may find it difficult, but in Nachiketa, 7-year-old boy asked this question. Nachiketa's question, it was there in the second question. First was simple. Yeyam priyate vichikitsa manushe asti tyeke nasti chaike etad vidyam anushishtastvayaham. That after the body falls, what happens? It was a simple question. But the final, the second and the last question is, what is that? Anyatra dharmad, anyatra dharmat, anyatra asmat krita kritat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha yattat pashyasi tadvada. He tells Yamaraja that all whatever you are saying, Yamaraja, I am not interested in it. If you know something like that, you tell me. What is that? Which is beyond the code of dharma and adharma. Dharma and adharma is a duality. There must be some truth from where dharma and adharma are coming. I would like to know that. Which is beyond dharma and adharma duality. Anyatra asmat krita kritat. Which is beyond the cause and effect. See, this same logic, Nachiketa, in our Shastras, it is written thousands and thousands of years ago. That is how the rishis discovered the truth. They understood that it has to be beyond causality. It cannot be asked that this is a cause. So, and anyata asmat krita kritat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha, which is beyond time, beyond past, beyond future, which transcends time also. If you know something like that, you tell me about that. Nachiketa said. And in Bhagavad Gita also it is there, Kathopanishad also it is there, time is not that. They are saying that since it is not out of any cause, it cannot cause also anything. It cannot give rise to anything. Suppose it has given rise to the universe, then he will say that the Atma is the cause of the universe, then it is related by causality. Then he will ask, what is the cause of the Atma? So by the very definition that it has to be beyond causality, it cannot cause also anything. Then how the whole universe has come? They call it Vivarta Srishti. Means anything in this creation is a Parinama Srishti. That means you were asking that question to Ma yesterday, but now we have to be a little, I am becoming philosophical in this, tomorrow again I will come. Parinama Srishti means whatever is created, by that the cause undergoes a change. Suppose the sun is radiating, every moment as the radiation is coming out, the hydrogen in the sun is getting converted into helium. From that the radiation is coming. So the constitution of the sun, the helium-hydrogen proportion is undergoing a change. So in this creation there cannot be anything which has come out of nothing. It is like that. So it is called Parinama Srishti, where the cause and effect change. When the effect is born, the cause undergoes a change. Actually the cause becomes the effect by undergoing the change, whatever you may say. But it is called Vivarta Srishti, means there is no material at all. It just appears to be. Vivarta means it is an apparential Srishti. The whole universe just appeared in consciousness. As in dream, the dream world just appears in our mind. One is individual, another is universal. So, truly speaking, the whatever causality and grossness, subtlety, all these we think, they are properties of this creation. In this dual world, all these are applicable. When we want to go to the truth, the transcendental truth, all these are not, there is no causality, nothing. The universe simply appears. That is why they say that this universe is manifesting according to the karma. That is, causality is applicable to the universe. Even being, non-being, wherever, everywhere there is causality. But the whole universe, in appearing in the consciousness, there is no causality involved. It is not a causal srishti at all. Both, not as well as yes. he says that in that case, is the table existing or not? It is existing and it is not existing also. Both are true, because it depends on our vision, that when we are speaking within the world and we mean existence by something existing in front of that, I am the subject, I am seeing something, that is the meaning of existence, then the table is existing. Whereas in our Shastras they say nothing exists except the Atma. What does it mean? That existence is nothing like that. The only existence we can speak of, we cannot see the object as different from the subject. It is the transcending subject-object duality. That is the real existence. In Kathopanishad, slokas are there. It's not coming always to my mind. Earlier it used to come, I am forgetting. So, in the absolute level, the existence, the meaning of existence is that. Even the grossness, we are saying, and the subtlety of the thought or the subtlety of our concept, all these are part of existence. But when we understand that all these are appearing in the consciousness, and consciousness is not in the objective state, it is all in I. I am everything, and in I everything is happening. Then nothing exists outside that way. So both, the answer will be both existing and non-existing. Kathopanishad is here. Oh, no, there is no time. We have to stop. Huh?
As far as I know is concerned, this Vidyal theory, everything is perfect.
Everything is in the objective level. Whole science, because science, there is something called the fundamental postulate of physics, or science you can say. The fundamental postulate means, if we start questioning ourselves, then we cannot do anything with the world. So the fundamental postulate of physics is that I consider the world as we see is existing. Then we go into the world, that what are the laws of existence and how it functions and all. The whole science is all physics, chemistry, mathematics, everything is based on that, on the fundamental postulate. Now if you question the I, then whatever you are seeing becomes unimportant, because it's all appearing in the I. So our rishis also did the same point. They found that if you look for the origin in this world, you cannot find anything. It's all in a cyclic manner. So they stopped looking further into the world and looked inside. And then they discovered the consciousness which I am, and in which the whole universe is appearing to be, as we have just now shown. So there their Viveka made them investigate in that manner.
So Swamiji, in the last week's session, he was saying that the universe was built on the sleep state. So actually,
What was built?
the universe, now the whole universe is coming from our sleep state. Not sleep state in sense, not wakeful. Our wakeful state is coming from our sleep state.
That is another, that is the sequence of the whatever we are experiencing. So we will stop them, it's crossing the time. Tomorrow again we will take up, not so much philosophical, but I actually wanted to quote the Kathopanishad slokas which are saying that's very good. All these things are there in Kathopanishad. Astityevopalabdhabhyah neha nanasti kinchana. Boyach? Na, bolte paro? Na, kichu shekani. Astityevopalabdhasya. All this nanatva, this multifarious, variegated world, nothing is there. Asti iti eta eva upalabdhabhyah. We have to know that Nachiketa asked that when the body falls, is there anything or not? He said, yes, it is there. And that alone is there, nothing else is there. When the body falls, what happens? Atma becomes Atma, the body gets merged. That Atma, that alone is there, but is there means what? We will think that it is there, like I will be there and I am seeing it is there. No, not like that. Just alone is there. There is no knower, no viewer, no seer, nothing. that alone. These things you will find in my Kathopanishad lecture. I have analyzed in great detail there. Okay, we will stop now. Mrityos mrityum apnoti yaya naneva pashyati na gacchati yaya naneva pashyati. One who sees this reality in this variegated world, he moves from death to death. And one who sees that alone exists, he becomes immortal. Om Sahana Vavatu
Om Sahana Vavatu
Sahanau Bhunaktu
Sahanau Bhunaktu
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Ma vidvishavahai
Ma vidvishavahai
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
See, it is not philosophy. What we were discussing, we were applying our Viveka again, discriminatory power, to understand the truth of existence and all. And if we really apply it properly, what it will result in? It will result in Vairagya. If you understand this truth, then all the chains we have, they will all the shackles will simply vanish. Your mind and your own egoistic will be simply getting evaporated. You will find the spatialness within us. So we are applying here also the Viveka, a little maybe a refined Viveka, a little sophisticated Viveka. And that results in great Vairagya, that you understand the whole world is just like that.